Hello everyone, Danny here today, starting off with an apology. I apologize because this video is really late. It should have posted this morning and I'm just now getting to recording it. Not to make excuses, but it's been a crazy couple of weeks. We've had family visiting. I just finished a 7-day stretch of 12 straight hour shifts, one right after the other, 12 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off for 7 days. So it's been a little hectic, and as a result, I'm a little late getting to this video. And the really sad part is this is actually a book that I'm really excited to share with you. This was a book that my oldest son and I kind of came across on accident. So we were in Seattle, and one of the things that we like to do is to visit libraries. Josh, his wife Maddie, my wife Sonia, and I, we were in Seattle. We'd gone in to see the musical Wicked, and we had some time, and so we went to check out a local bookstore. I think I said library earlier, I meant bookstore. And they had this bargain kind of bin of different books and things, and Josh pulled it off. He was like, wow, this is really interesting. And we've been talking about Audible and different books that we've both listened to on Audible. And I was like, well, I wonder if that's on Audible. Let me see it. I'll see. And if it is, I'll get it. And it was on Audible. And so I went ahead and I used the credit and I got it. With Audible, it's like, hey, if I don't like it, I return it. If I do like it, I keep it. Totally worth the credit. No way this book is getting returned. Before I get into the book though, I have a favor to ask. If, like me, you love audiobooks, please subscribe to my channel. Come join me on my audiobook journey. Now, if my energy level seems a little down right now, because I kind of feel like my energy is a little down compared to my normal level on these videos, it's because I'm a bit wore out from that 7-day stretch at work there. But I want my energy to be super high because I want to be super excited about this book. So my favorite thing about this book, the name of the book is Sorcery of Thorns, written by Margaret, and I apologize if I mispronounce this last name, Rogerson, narrated by Emily Ellet. This is a book about a young lady named Elizabeth who is raised as an infant, as an orphan infant. She's taken in by one of the great libraries. And this is a world where you have sorcery and sorcerers, and they save their spells in special books called grimoires. And the only way that a spell can be passed on is using a grimoire. But grimoires aren't just normal books. Grimoires are actually alive. That was my favorite part of this book. I'm someone to whom books have always been a friend. As the old saying goes, if you've got a good book, you're never alone. I was never alone because I always had a good book, and I've always felt like books were just like my friend. But they were never able to be friends like the books in these libraries. This was the world I wanted to live in. You know how Harry Potter, one of the best things about Harry Potter is you really want to go to Hogwarts, and you really want to live in that world. This book does not compare to Hogwarts in any fashion as far as the style of book it is. It does in the fashion that this was a world that I really wanted to live in, because these grimoires were actually alive. They actually had personalities. They actually interacted with her. They could be grumpy. They could be mean. They could get their feelings hurt. They might try to bite your fingers off, and they were very dangerous. So the great libraries where these were stored were in the habit of training orphans as wardens, and that's what they actually called them, was wardens, to keep the grimoires imprisoned and keep them in their place. And then sorcerers had to get special permission to go in and to use these, and it was kind of a way of controlling sorcery and keeping them from taking over the world. But she's raised from an infant. Usually they take them in at like 12, 13 years old and start them at that age. She's the first one to be raised from an infant in a library. And so she's great friends with all these different grimoires and everything. And, she knows which ones will bite your hand off if you get too close to them, which ones are really dangerous. Some of them, they've got like special cells with chains and all sorts of things. And you have to be careful with grimoires, because grimoires can actually turn back into whatever monster they were made out of, only it will be an expanded version of that monster, an incredibly dangerous, hard to kill expanded version of that monster. Another thing, in the libraries, they're taught that all sorcerers are evil. Just flat, period, evil. They sacrifice maidens, they drink babies' blood, their magic is evil, they are evil, there's absolutely nothing non-evil about them. Well, early on, Elizabeth meets Nathaniel Thorn, who is a wizard. And you can tell by the way they interact that he's not an evil guy. He's aware that that is how he's viewed by the people in the library, and he kind of has a bit of fun with it, but he's not actually an evil guy. But Elizabeth, who's lived her entire life in the library, never stepped foot outside of it, I mean, she's freaked by meeting this sorcerer. And then something happens with one of the grimoires. Elizabeth gets framed, and Elizabeth is going to be sent away to be judged, and who knows what's going to happen, what her punishment is going to be. Well, Nathaniel Thorne steps in and offers to guide her, and the two of them, they start investigating what's going on. And before long, it's very clear to everyone, the world, everyone, that she's not the person who's responsible. Someone else is responsible. The book has romance between her and Nathaniel Thorne, but it's not an overwhelming part of the book by any stretch. It actually takes a long, long time to develop. And even at the end of the book, where it finally comes, and it doesn't come to fruition until the very end of the book, even then it's not an overwhelming element to the story at all. The overwhelming element to the story is, one, her learning that sorcerers aren't evil. Sorcerers also aren't good. They're just people, and they can use their magic for good. They can use their magic for evil. Her learning about herself. So she has some special abilities that no one really understands and no one can explain. And this was something that was wonderfully done in this book, because when they finally figure out why she has these special abilities, if you want to know what they are, you got to listen to the story. I'm not going to tell you, but it fits into the story and it fits into the world in such a way that she could only have gotten those powers in this world, in this environment, in this place and time. Only way she could have gotten them. So they didn't borrow and steal from someone else. Oh, she's the child of some powerful sorcerer and nobody knew it, and so now she has these magic. Nope. It's a totally unique way that she gains all of these powers and abilities, and it fits perfectly with the story. The whole story flows in just this seamless fashion. You never get lost. It is more of a young adult, teenager style book. So it's no sex, no foul language, no anything like that at all. Perfectly safe to listen to. The narrator does an amazing job. Love the narration that goes with the book. Never had a problem knowing who was talking, who was speaking, the emotions, that everything come out. And there was a lot of emotions, I keep forgetting her name, with Elizabeth, that had to be brought out. A lot of conflicting emotions. You know, is Nathaniel this really truly evil guy? Well, wait a minute, am I wrong about how evil Nathaniel is? Okay, I want to be a warden, but all of the wardens think sorcerers are completely evil, and if I befriend Nathaniel, then how can I be a warden? I have to give up on that dream. And so you have all of these conflicting emotions and feelings and things that just, they really come to bear on her. And the narrator does an excellent job of bringing that out. There's a lot of action in this book. There's a lot of battle scenes. You wouldn't think from the way I'm describing it that there are, but there's a good bit of battle scenes in there. There's some subterfuge. The narration, when she gets into those, one, they're really well described, really well done. You can picture them quite easily in your head, what's happening. There's a scene in the beginning where Nathaniel's trying to escort her and someone is trying to kill them, and there's this big running battle, and I can easily picture the entire thing in my head as if it was a movie. I actually think this book would make a really great movie. This was a fun book. It was one that oftentimes had me at the edge of my seat going, oh, what's going to come next? What's going to happen next, kind of a thing. The sorcerers, they get their power through demons. and they interact with demons. And Nathaniel, being a sorcerer, has a demon that he interacts with. And the demons are the reason why the sorcery is viewed as this evil art, because demons are just viewed as completely evil, uncaring creatures. And it's kind of hard to explain, but Elizabeth starts to befriend the demon, and the demon tries to explain in his own way, hey, don't befriend me. What you've heard about me and how evil I am, it is true. It's just who I am. You're just seeing me in this different light because this is how Nathaniel is controlling me and this is how he wants me to be, but don't end up trusting me. And she reaches a point in the book, as you would expect, where she has to trust him. She has to put her life and Nathaniel's life and the whole world's life in his hands. And then she's got to decide, do I do it? Don't do it. And if she does do it, what happens? You're going to have to listen to the book to find that out. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like my channel, subscribe. Turn on notifications. Questions, comments, feedback. It's what the comment section is for. Put them in there. But most importantly, no matter what else you do today, make sure that today you listen to at least one really good audiobook. Oh, and I so recommend A Sorcery of Thorns. Thank you.